It's safe to say that after the last year, the last few years, the last lifetime, that we just all need to take a deep breath and let it all go. Whew. Because that was a lot, right? It was a lot for me. I grew a lot. I learned a lot. I felt a lot. I did a lot. So I bet you're wondering, HB, what did you do this month? Hey, what's up, pals? I am Hannah Bowers, singer, songwriter, creative entrepreneur, and overall, not one thing. That's me. And this is my creative growth check-in for December 2022, the very last month of 2022. And what a year, am I right? Did anyone have a boring year this year? If you did, please let me know how you got away with that in the comment section below. Usually in these creative growth check-in videos, I share my creative growth, the projects that I have been working on, and the personal growth themes that I have seen in my life, as well in the lives of the artists and creative people that I coach. But this month, we're just gonna chat one-on-one, me to you. Not you to me, because I can't hear you, unfortunately. If you comment on this, that's like the future, then it is you to me. And time isn't real, so we're just gonna chat because this month there was no doing of the creative projects. Matter of fact, there was no doing at all, which is what this month's video theme is about. Not doing, but resting. And how ironic, don't you think? That this video in itself is a creative project about not doing a creative project. But I think it's vastly important because as a society, at least in America, at least in my life, at least in what I've seen, we undervalue rest and we over-prioritize productivity. You may have heard this said before, you are not a human doing, but you are a human being. And I don't think we be enough. And I think that we don't be enough because I think that we are not enough. And to make up for this lack of enoughness in our being, we overdo, or at least do enough to distract us from that pit of despair, that little existential dread voice that creeps up on us in the silence and the stillness of being. Maybe you're not relating to this, but maybe you are. I am not an expert on whatever this topic is. Philosophy, sociology, psychology, any of the offices and ologies. Little rap moment there. Not an expert at that. I'm just an expert at my life. Am I an expert at my life? Who decide? I mean, I would have to decide that. I'm the judge, right? That's something to think about in our next video. Talk about that. What does it mean to be an expert of your own life? Whew, drink a little coffee about that one. But it is so messed up though that us creative people and artists and all human beings really put so much of our identity and our worth in our art. And if we're not creating art, or if we're not creating art that we're proud of, that requires us to do, right? In order to create, we need to do the thing that makes the art come to life, but that's not sustainable. We also need the space to be and rest and receive inspiration and fill back up on fuel and energy. So we cannot have sustainable doing without being, without resting. And it's scary to rest too, because that's when the thoughts of doubt and those feelings of anxiety can come up. But if we don't give them space to come up, they're still gonna be there. They're just gonna be hidden. They're gonna be overlooked. They're gonna be swept under the rug. So we need to give them space to come up, allow them to come up, and let them pass and let ourselves feel them until they subside or get transformed into something else. But they're not gonna go away just because you don't acknowledge them. And we all know that, but we don't like to accept that. So back to the juicy question at hand, what did I do this month? I did the bare freaking minimum, man. I slept a lot. I went out to breakfast a lot. I went back to my parents' beautiful mountain home and watched a movie every day and played games, took baths, walked around in nature, and I didn't create or tell myself I needed to create anything or strive to be anything or anywhere other than who I was and where I was. Because for me, 2022 was so focused on these huge dreams and goals that I had. And I'm very, very proud to say that I accomplished them. I started my company PAL as an official business. I hosted PAL events. I started the PAL podcast. I planted the seeds for this YouTube channel. I worked a lot on writing new music and producing new music. I became officially self-employed, doing things that I love and living this life that I love. And I'm so happy that I put in the work to accomplish those things. But by the time that we hit December, I was done. I needed to quiet that voice that was constantly looking for the next accomplishment, the next goal. Okay, this is done, on to the next thing, cross that off. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's now?
What's now?
How about that? Here's the catch with resting. Something that I have learned is that you can't just do an activity that you associate with rest and have that count as resting. Let's say you're watching TV and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, I'm watching TV. But your mind is thinking about all the things that you did today and all of the things that you have to do tomorrow, thinking about productivity. And you're not present in the relaxing moment of watching TV, you're not really resting. You're actually stressing yourself out. So, tip number 1 about rest. In order to rest, we need to be able to let go. How do we let go? It's not easy, but it's a practice. We start with acceptance. I accept myself in this moment. I accept the things that I did today. I accept how I showed up today. I accept where my life is right now. I accept it. And we put down the past and we put down the future. And I know you don't want to put down the future because you're in this place where you want to grow. But in order to be there, you really do have to let yourself be here. As I said in my last video, you will never be there. You will only ever be here. The present moment, man, it's so underrated. We have such a tricky relationship with the present moment because we're so tied up in the idea of what the future could be and what the past should have been. And here we are in the present, just denying it. What is gonna help you get to this point of acceptance so that you can relax? Make sure that your environment, your surroundings are conducive to relaxation. I'm not saying that you need to go to my parents' mountain cabin for a week because that's my path, okay? That's not your path. I do recommend that, but that's not for everyone, that is for me. Surround yourself with the people and the places that make you feel good. Simple as that. Maybe it sounds simple and it's not actually simple, but make sure that you're surrounding yourself intentionally with people that don't stress you out or drain your energy. And maybe you're a super duper introvert and it is the most relaxing of all for you to be alone and spend your rest time alone, then absolutely do that. Something I want to make sure of though is that you're not the kind of person that's gonna end up going down a little spiral or have some toxic thoughts appear when you are on your own. And then having restful places that you can retreat to, and this doesn't mean renting out some expensive, luxurious Airbnb for you and all your friends. This can be a walk. This can be a park. This can be your car. This can be any little place where you can just find some rest and some peace and maybe experience some beauty. I don't know. It doesn't have to be something big, something huge. You can find some peace of mind in the little things. And most importantly, you might not learn this from me saying it to you. This is something that you really have to believe in for yourself, but maybe me saying it can spark something in you and nudge you in that direction. You deserve rest. Okay, just soak in that for a moment. You deserve rest. And anytime that you go to your restful place or you decide you're gonna relax now and that voice comes up in your head that says, well, this isn't done yet. You haven't worked hard enough. You haven't done enough today. You don't deserve rest. That little stressor voice is coming up. You just picture me, right sitting on there on your shoulder and telling you, you deserve rest. Practice that until that voice becomes your own voice, telling it to yourself. You don't need to believe it in the beginning. Just practice saying it. And if you say it enough, you might start to believe it, but maybe it'll just feel better to say it. I think it'll feel better to say you deserve rest than to tell yourself you don't deserve rest, whether you believe it or not. So that's really all that I wanted to talk about this month. It's important for the end of the year for sure, but it's more important to do it consistently. So if you're watching this video and it's not the end of the year, make sure that you're still incorporating rest in your daily practice, your weekly practice. You're getting in some peace at the end of a crazy month. Let this year be the year that you learn to rest and enjoy it, because you deserve that. So happy New Year, my friends. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I'll see you in next month's video when I get back to some doing and show you what I'm up to. Spoiler alert, it's really dope. And I'm excited for you to share your growth and your journey and your projects with me in the process. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Can love me better, I can love me better, babe. Can love me better, I can love me better, babe.